Now, a bit of good news. All kidnapped passengers of the Kaduna-bound train attacked by terrorists on March the 20th have regained freedom. The latest among them are 23 passengers who had spent at least 7 months in captivity. A 7-man defense team assembled by the Chief of Defense Staff secured their release. Our correspondent Lupe Asum has details.
The 3 remaining AK-9 train passengers held hostage by terrorists have regained their freedom more than 6 months after their kidnap. The Secretary of the Chief of Defense Staff Action Committee, Usman Yusuf, said they were freed at about 4 p.m. on Wednesday. According to him, a 7-man presidential committee assembled by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, have taken custody of all of them. 28th of March 2022 is a day over 300 passengers on board the AK-9 Kaduna-bound train will never forget soon. They were ambushed by terrorists suspected to be members of the Ansar and Boko Haram insurgents. Survivors say lights in the AK-9 train went off, and what followed was the sound of gunshots everywhere. Government officials later confirmed that 8 people died, 26 others were injured, while over 60 passengers were feared kidnapped. Senior government and security officials immediately visited the scene of the attack, making promises of efforts to rescue kidnapped persons. Train services along the Kaduna-Abuja route were immediately suspended by the NRC. But while families of the slain victims mourned their losses, those of injured persons were in hospitals, watching over their loved ones with severe injuries. A group of others were left absolutely lost and confused, those whose relatives were kidnapped. Series of protests were held in Kaduna and Abuja, demanding for the release of those kidnapped and the sack of the transport minister. Series of videos were also released by the terrorists, who were seen to be torturing hostages in a bid to get ransom from their relatives and the attention of the government. The terrorists had also demanded for a hostage swap with their children and cohorts who they claim were in government's custody. It's unclear if that was done, but the first batch of 11 hostages were immediately freed shortly after. Some relatives of freed victims say they paid up to 100 million naira as ransom before their loved ones regained freedom. Mahmoud, the media aide to Sheikh Gumi, played a vital role in the release of several others. He was in September arrested by the DSS in Cairo and repatriated back to Nigeria for questioning. The military have recently intensified operations against terrorists in Kaduna and other northwest states, destroying several camps. The presidency has also promised an end to insecurity before the end of their administration. It remains to be seen how this will be done. Lupe Asson, TVC News, Kaduna.